And we are back. Thanks as always for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We do appreciate it. It's nice having Sean here. It's also nice having you guys here. We also have Nora Musa in. What is your Twitter again?
I mean, it's at Day9 TV.
No, not you, Sean. Everyone knows your Twitter, you boob. 1 second. I'm asking Nora Musa. Oh, SC2 Promise? Yeah, there we go. He's the observer.
Really good.
Sean. No, I'm just teasing. Yeah. Yeah, it's SC2 Promise. And he was commentating the Landhammer. He's here volunteering his time to see if we can use his services for observing. So if you have a chance, give him a little bit of a shout out. And of course, follow Day9 TV on Twitter if you haven't already. We need to start. Someone needs to be the champion. We need to get you to 1 million followers. Then you can sit down with Ellen DeGeneres and talk about StarCraft 2 or something like that. That'd be sick.
Oh, that would be so great. I'd love to wear like a pastel purple shirt with like a sweater and sneakers that are a little bit chocolatey brown with the belt. Oh, it'll be so good.
I think you'd be best for that because you'd actually dance with her. Like if she broke out in a dance, you would be the one person from StarCraft I can think of that would not even hesitate to probably outdance her on that stage even.
Yeah, of course. I would dance to her. People would be like, wow, Sean was quite a lot more into that than Ellen was. And I'd be like, upvoting those comments on Reddit.
Sick City, man. Could happen.
Yes.
All right. So enough about Ellen DeGeneres, I suppose, for now. We can come back to that subject later. I'm always willing to talk about some EG there, or EED. That's not good. Probably shouldn't break her name down to ED. That'll get you into other places. That being said, we got a TV. You don't know what ED stands for, do you, Sean? I can feel it. Erectile dysfunction.
Oh.
Yes, it was a secret penis joke. A secret one.
God. It's super secret. Like, don't worry, I won't tell anyone.
It's actually a bad thing that I know about that, but it's only because I watch TV. I promise everyone. Anyways, TVT Xenocide Tasia. I'm hitting the watch button now. It's underway. A lot of people have been commenting that this is a bit of a lopsided match, but that's where heroes are born, as you said, Sean. This is where legends come true. If Xeno can get a big win here and put EG above TeamLiquid so far over Tasia, that'd be amazing.
But I mean, he's gonna have to be like one of those Transformers where he looks like a cute little motorcycle, and all of a sudden he turns into like a giant missile laser firing behemoth.
Yeah.
Yeah. But will that happen? We'll find out. Up in the top left corner from TeamLiquid, a beast in the TVT matchup. It is Liquid Tasia. And down in the bottom right-hand corner, is he a robot in disguise? Or is he just a Grandmaster NA player? It is Evil Genius's Xenocider.
Xeno, if you guys don't know, is a young man. He's 15 years old. He's been GM on the NA ladder a few times, but he takes the game very seriously after joining EG. Of course, we learned a lot more about him. He's a student of the game. He watches VODs. He checks streams. He's actually that guy that checks up on your win-loss build orders through the ladder, like against future opponents and against people that he's interested in. So he's a really cool guy. He's a high prospect, but like we've been saying, he's getting cast into the fire right now. He's got to beat Tasia in a best-of-1 for the SC2L. And let us be reminded, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot at stake with SC2L. The final two teams get an all-expenses-paid trip to DreamHack Bucharest to compete on a live stage for over $10,000 in the honor of their team winning the league.
So, I mean, if Xenocider doesn't do well in this match, he's in serious trouble.
Oh, he's fired. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's gone.
So it looks like both players are going for a 13 gas, which I would say is the least common timing that we see in this matchup nowadays. Almost always it's going to be 12 gas for the very fast Reaper, or we see 14 gas for the fast reactor into expand, or we see 15 gas into the fast factory and expand. But this is more of the common, I just want a factory and I don't want to make any sacrifices to get it.
And I guess it's kind of you could go anywhere with that factory, right? This timing doesn't lean at one direction or the other, does it?
I mean, I mean, I definitely think it'll be leaning towards the sort of fast factory and really not much else. I mean,
Well,
you
I know
just have
factory, but I mean like Hellions versus Widowmine, right? It's gonna be
oh,
whatever.
God, I completely misunderstood. Yeah, I mean, like given the placement for Xenocider in this situation, he's essentially declaring, I want to be going for a Banshee opening. It looks like both players are. This is a great map in the mid game to do these sort of marine tank pushes because you can control the low ground and fire away at the high ground while still securing for counterattacks. And one of the best builds to lead into that is going Banshee first and then pulling into Marine Tank Raven.
Okay. Well, I mean, with that second gas, I think you're exactly on point. Definitely see that kind of an opening. Xenocider is even putting his factory in a very similar place. You can notice up there at that, well, I don't know what to call it, the top right-hand side where you can see all the supply and everything. They're mirror images of each other, and they're doing so far exactly the same build. 4 Marines out for Xenocider, just 3 for Tasia. And he's going to go ahead and throw a reactor down on his barracks, but as you can see at that factory, it is a tech lab. So I do believe, Sean, you hit the nail on the head, man.
Well, I am though concerned about the fact that Xenocider has yet to build any add-on to this barracks. I really think it's very important to get that Marine count up quite high.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess he's just gonna... He's opting for earlier greater number of Marines versus later, but as you were saying, I mean, with a reactor on there, he's gonna leapfrog his Tasia pretty soon here.
Yeah, I mean, for all the sort of build orders, you sort of compartmentalize your concerns against what he can be doing. You know, you don't actually want to have well-roundedness to it. You want to say, okay, I'm preparing for any sort of early attacks. Oh, is he not doing that? Sweet. Then you do what Tasia does. You throw down all the add-ons. And you got the next big set of concerns coming up. You know, which is answered with a whole line of Marines. So I honestly love Tasia's position compared to Xenocider's. I mean, even though it doesn't look like that tremendous of a difference, but Xenocider could do some sort of unusual surprises as we see the reactor going down now on the factory. So Xenocider's actually not going to be very far behind on his command center.
Oh, okay, so scan does go down, and it sees that there are, in fact, Marines inside Xeno's base. And it does, of course, see the tech lab on this mysterious building, which is, of course, a starport. I was just going to say, his Widowmine placement from Xenocider is a little bit strange. He's at the front ramp, but I guess he's just kind of looking to get an early shot off of perhaps a Hellion came up there, a Marine or something like that. But now, in the mineral line, it's going to be the defensive choice for something like a Banshee.
We actually do see the swap now for Xenocider. Again, he's still behind on Marines. Xenocider going for the very typical sort of defensive 1-1-1 mixture. Just having all the add-ons there.
Oh, this Widowmine? Oh my gosh, okay.
Oh my god,
yeah.
Xeno is playing with fire here.
Boy, is he. He almost walked right into it. But both players are going to start engaging. Nice little trade already for Tasia. He hits the constructing SCV and gets the second one on that command center. So not only is it delayed, but he's actually got 2 SCV kills for himself anyways. Meanwhile, Xeno, did he actually lose his Banshee?
I mean, Xenocider, I think, actually has lost his Banshee. Yeah, put into a number of units. I mean, I've been trying to bounce back and forth between these two fights, but Widowmine didn't get the kill. It was just the Marines, and we're starting to see Tasia already snowballing in that early state. You know, he began to get all his add-ons a little earlier, and of course, those numbers are beginning to pile up more and more. Even though Xenocider does have the earlier tanks, it's not going to help him that much because the tanks are good for defense. It's the Marines that really permit you to do that offense. So Xenocider is doing the smart play, going for the big macro mode, following up with the command center. That tech lab that was on the starport is going to be transitioning over to the another barracks.
Yeah, probably additional barracks. We'll see. I guess they're both in that Swiss Army position where they could technically go somewhere else, but there is that second barracks, as you said. Now, Tasia's going to push across. He's got a greater number of Marines, but as you said, the tank already in siege mode. I feel like Xeno is safe for now. Widowmine at the front, too, does want to be careful, but with that siege tank, Tasia's going to say, okay, fine, backing away. He went with an early tank. That's all well and good. What do you think about this fast 3CC from our young Terran player, Xeno, here as well?
I think it's the smart play. You already have this formation that will not really favor a bunch of Marine Marauder, and as a result, a bunch of aggression, but it will favor tanks and defense. So if you're going to be playing defense for a while until you can get that Marine Marauder up, you may as well have a lot of good, juicy stuff to be defending. So third command center goes along with that. The double upgrades that we see going down. So Xenocider, despite his very shaky opening, is really sort of coming back to a very smart transition.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is also interesting from Tasia here. He's really pushing. He's going to take an angle over here. And there is some production in spot, but Xeno's actually going to go ahead and put a tank in the back lines here to hopefully cut into that. There's no medevac, as I can see, so it's not... This is not an elevator tactic. He's literally just going to... Yeah. I mean, this looks like a little thing, but it's actually a big deal because that's the tech lab upgrading his bio, and if you stop stim, whoa, you're doing damage.
Yeah, this is very bad for Xenocider.
Yeah.
I mean, Tasia knows exactly how to get these edges. Again, he doesn't have a tank lead. That's going to go to Xenocider. He's going to be able to boost his tanks up a little earlier, but certainly this Marine edge permits Tasia to get into this sort of positions. Now we're seeing what the point defense drones getting thrown down, Raven energy getting burned. Oh, Xenocider loses the upgrade, loses the barracks. He's going to have to restart stick at the right. He's rebuilding barracks at the right. And then all of a sudden the question is, how good is his crisis management? Probably not up to par with Tasia's ability to exploit it.
Yeah, am I seeing correctly that he also lost his Raven?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal. The Raven of Tasia is going to go ahead and get away from here. With no stim, he can kite all he wants against those tanks, but he really can't run them down. Even a Widow Mine in the middle of the field to actually add insult to injury. I don't want to make it sound like losing the Ravens like something like losing your mothership core when that's all you have to spot for Blink Stalkers. It's not that paramount of a unit, but those PDDs, those detection, again, a little bit more of a backseat importance, it's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, plus it's kind of one of those telling things where you get the Raven because it's this big solve-all. You don't have to worry about detection. If there's some Banshees that get thrown in later, that's no problem. It's a really nice support unit. It can do a little harassment. And then all of a sudden it's gone purely because of a control misstep. You're like, oh, gosh. I mean, look at Tasia with this Raven all the way south end. He's going to be able to swing into the bottom right base very, very quickly, too.
Yeah, and that's there to harass, is what I imagine. You can either secret missile the mineral line, or you can actually just drop down a couple of auto turrets, and it'll essentially have the same effect. Xeno is moving over here. It looks almost like he sniffs it out, but he really doesn't. He's just kind of saying, okay, well, I'm not going to do anything else with these Vikings. If you're going to drop me, you're going to have to go through these Vikings. But the tough thing here for Xeno is if you look at that supply, I mean, he's down a good 30 supply. They're both doing essentially the same thing. It's just that at every turn, Tasia has gotten the better trade. He's been a little bit heavier on the production. He's now taking a third base.
Oh my god, look at this medevac drop. Oh my god, Taja's moves so much stuff. I mean, a lot of players will get like 1 or 2 medevacs and do this little, you know, cutesy medevac jitterbug where they dance in and out and try to deal damage, but Taja's just going to drop the whole army to right on top of Xenocider's whole army. But if Xenocider picks off these medevacs, he could be in a good spot, but he doesn't pick them off, Jeff. He goes right in the main base. God, Taja is just amazing in this matchup.
And he's already hit the sweet spot, Sean. He's inside the production. The tanks are sieged. The Marines are going to walk forward to make sure that Xenocider cannot get to the top of that ramp. And honestly, this is probably over right now. All the barracks have been attacked and are getting destroyed. And Xenocider just sitting here kind of thinking, what can I do? Well, he can tap out because that's all he's got.
And there's the GG. That means that right now, TeamLiquid leads the series 2-1 thanks to the wins from Tasia and Rhett. But of course, EG is going to be sending out some of the big crew, some of those Pro League specialists in the upcoming matches. So, I mean, with Alive Oz and then Alive Again coming out, I definitely think EG has a chance to pull it back. But God, I can't wait for next match. This is the #1 match I'm excited for, Jeff.
I'm actually, which one? Is that Snoot alive?
Are you kidding me? Of course it is, Jeff. I love Snoot.
My eyes are so bad. The screen is only a good 5 feet away, but I was like squinting. I'm like, really? Sean's super excited for Snoot alive? Okay, I think that's what that says. But I was waiting. You're like, I'm so excited for this match, and you just stopped, and I'm like, oh no, I have to rely on my eyes. That one should be good. But as you said, it's a 2-1 advance for TeamLiquid, and TeamLiquid's at 2-2. It's worth noting in the SC2L, which means if they go to 2-3, it's going to be really tough to see them make that top 2. But if they can beat EG, the #1 team in SC2L right now, then that puts them in a fantastic position at 3-2. And of course, with the edge over a team that is above them, that's a really sweet spot to be. So Snoot, one of the foreigners on this draw, is going to do battle with Alive in the TBZ matchup. We'll see you guys soon after this commercial break.